Welcome to Playing for Second. I'm Josh, and today I'm playing Drawing Dead. This is a 1 to 2 player game from Best with One Games. Today we are going to be playing a solo game using the character Fehrity. This is a hand management rogue-like game. Our goal here is we are in Purgatory trying to escape and get into the Afterlife. So we have to open 3 gates of Purgatory in order to defeat 3 bosses to get to the Afterlife. So we are in kind of a Weird West setting. We'll get into the specifics of how the game plays as we go. I'm not going to do an official teach. I'll just kind of talk about things as I actually take my turns. So join me at the table. All right, so as I said, we're set up here for our solo game. We've got Fehrity. He is the barman here, and he has a special ability on his card that's going to come into play. I can actually discard tokens that I gain to prevent damage during enemy phases. What we're trying to do here is get through 3 bosses. They are represented by these 3 cards right here. I'm playing on the normal difficulty level, which means we have a level 1, a level 2, and a level 3 boss in this stack. We have to unlock those gates by meeting the conditions on the cards, and then defeating the bosses by damaging them enough to eclipse their health points. Right now we have 1 minion in play, and that is based on this little cowboy hat symbol down here in the bottom left-hand corner of our current card. It's the stag. They have some passive abilities, and then some abilities they're going to actually trigger on the enemy turns. We'll talk about that as we go. Some other things to note here, down here at the bottom are the list of actions that we can choose from as the player. The deck here is a standard 52-card poker deck. You'll see those cards as they come out. This is referred to as the soul deck. And this is how we're going to be taking actions and managing everything in the game. This is also one of the loss conditions. So there actually is one way to win, and that is by defeating all 3 bosses. There are 2 ways to lose. I can either lose all of my health twice, so I start at 12. If I am defeated twice, I lose. Or if I go to draw cards from the soul deck and there aren't any available to fill whatever my need is, I lose immediately. So 2 ways to lose, one way to win. Let's get started. A couple helper cards here. Does a nice job of explaining how the rounds actually progress here. So the first thing is deal phase. We're going to bring out 6 cards into what is called the river. You don't have to be familiar with poker necessarily to play this game. It does help just to quickly reference hands, but as long as you understand what the hands are, you don't have to be actually good at poker. So first thing that happens here, we deal out our 6 cards, and then we jump into an enemy phase. The enemies are going to activate in whatever order that I choose. They always are going to try to activate their strong ability first, which is the one at the bottom, and then the weak ability. And if they can't activate either of those abilities based on the cards that are out, they do nothing. So we're looking for 4 infernal cards. When they reference the word infernal or radiant, they are referring to the different colors of cards. So any yellow cards are considered radiant. Any of these darker purple cards are considered infernal. So in order for this ability to trigger, there have to be 4 infernal cards in the river. There are currently. So we're going to deal 3 damage to each character. Ouch. I could have prevented that by discarding a token, or at least 2 of that. I don't have any tokens currently in my possession, so didn't get a chance. Now, because the major ability here triggered, the smaller ability will not get activated. All right. Then it moves on to the character phase. We get to draw 3 cards into our hand, and we are going to use these cards in 3 different ways. We're going to put 1 into the river to add an additional card. We're going to use 1 for the for the ability that's actually listed on the card. We'll just discard that card, trigger its ability, and do what it says. The other card, the 3rd card, can go in one of 2 different places. It can either go onto our gate to help us activate that gate, or it can go into our bank. And basically, these are cards that are going to be stored for later that I can kind of switch out and use if I need a specific suit or a specific number or maybe a specific action. So on our turn here, we are looking to do something here. Looking at what I have right now, I do have a really nice 5-card straight that I can activate, which is really cool. So if I add this 5, I actually have a 5-card straight, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I think that's what I'm going to do because I don't really have a lot of resources to change things right now. So 1 card goes to the river, as I said. 1 card is going to go up here, and 1 card is going to go here. I'm going to go ahead and put, I think, this jack up here, and this 9 is going to be played. Nope, I'm sorry. For an action. What do I want to use for my action? I don't really need anything for my action, unfortunately. So again, I'll put this jack up here. This is being played for my action. I don't need to change anything to a different suit, so it's kind of wasted. These 5 cards are going to be part of my action. When I go to choose the action from my list down here, I take this little token called a penance token and place it on that action. And that's going to denote a happy hour action is taking place. I'm fine to use each action once, but as soon as I go to trigger the action a second time in a row, I actually have to take a little bit of damage here. Shredding 2 cards, we'll talk about shredding later, and taking a damage. So I don't want to have to do that if I can help it. Right now it doesn't matter because it's my first action. So we have a card, a 5-card straight, which is going to do 5 damage. Once I've chosen my action and selected my cards, the cards that are not part of the action are actually going to be discarded out of the game temporarily into what's called the lost pile. And these cards are exactly that. They are lost until I'm able to bring them back with what's called a recycle action. And you'll see some of that happening as we go. So we have our 5-card straight. All of these cards that are part of the actual hand are going to get discarded here at the end. So we're going to deal 4 damage. The only person I can deal damage to right now is this stag. So they're going to go down to 1. And then we're going to go ahead and gain a suit change token of any 1 suit used to activate this ability. So I get to choose my action based on the strength, and then I always get to do the special at the bottom down here. I'm going to go ahead and choose, I think, a diamonds token. And we'll see what that does for us later. All right, so these are going to go to the discard pile. That was the character phase. Now we go to the cleanup phase where we're going to reveal new minions if we need to. So again, we're going to check our gate. We need 1 minion. We have 1 minion. We're good. Flip the gate if it's unlocked. We don't have 2 cards that summoned more than 12 yet, so it's going to remain locked. Then we pass the turn, and we start back at the top with the deal phase. So pretty simple steps. Just got to follow those in order, and your rounds go pretty snappy. All right, so here's our river now. And again, we go up to our enemies here. 4 infernal cards, no. 1 or more spades, yes. And that is going to deal 1 damage per spade to the active character, which is me. So I'm going to take 1 damage. I could discard my token, my diamond token, to block that. I'm not going to do that right now. So then I get to go. 3 cards for me. All right, and I'd like to get something other than a straight, but it really looks like I'm going to be going with the straight again because 6, 7, 8, 9, and throwing a 10 down makes it really, really simple. So I might be doing that. Yeah, I don't see a way to change enough suits in order to get a straight flush, which is kind of my big ability over here. And that big ability would be wasted on that character anyway. I could go for a couple pair. I do have 9s on the board. Probably not worth pursuing. I could always tamper and see what happens. So tamper is a keyword. Tamper means drawing a certain number of cards from the deck, in this case 4 if I played this card. And then I can replace those cards with cards that are in my river. So that actually might be a viable option right now. I think what I'll do is I'll tamper with this 10 of diamonds because I do have an 8, a 9, and a 10 of hearts that I could go with a straight flush or potentially just do a flush and do my spirit and chaser. So let's go ahead and discard this card for its ability. So I'm going to draw 4 cards. And I can now use these to replace cards that are out on the river. Ew. Not much going there. I do have 9s. I could replace a 10 and grab 2 pairs here. Could just go with my original plan here and go with a 4-card flush. That's not terrible. All right. Yeah, let's do that. I'm actually going to not use any of these cards, I don't believe. Those are all going to go to the discard pile. I will place this ace up in my gate to get it unlocked for next turn. Just a note, aces are always played high. They can never be played as a 1. They're always played as a 14, basically. This 10 is going to go into my river. I'm going to choose my Spirit and Chaser, so I'll move my penance token, so I don't have to take a penalty for double dipping. I do have 4 hearts, so these 3 cards are going to go away. These 4 cards become my flush of 4, so I'm going to get to recycle 2. Recycling is the word I mentioned earlier. Recycling means taking your lost pile, shuffling all of the cards, and then taking that many cards back into your regular discard pile. So in this case, I'm going to recycle 2, so I'm going to shuffle up, take the top 2 cards from my shuffle, put them in my discard pile. Everything else goes back to the lost pile. I also gain 2 +1 -1 tokens, which are these little guys. All right. And then I can haunt an enemy, which means placing one of my tokens out onto one of the enemy cards. And then at the end of the character phase, it's going to deal 1 additional damage. Now, there is a discrepancy between what the card here says. It says that they're going to take a damage at the end of the cleanup phase, but the rulebook references the character phase. There is a thread on BGG that I'm currently following to see if we can get an answer of whether it's cleanup or whether it is character. In my mind, it makes sense for it to be the character phase, simply because if it was during the cleanup phase, you could actually end up without a minion on the board for your start of your next round. So we're going to play that it happens at the end of the character's phase. So we're going to put these cards in discard pile, and at this time, this character is going to take 1 damage from its haunt. This token goes away. And I'm now going to gain rewards. So down here at the bottom of the card, each minion and each boss card is going to have some kind of reward. I gain 1 spades token, okay, and I heal 1. So I got a little bit that damage back. This just goes to a discard pile. Then we head into our cleanup phase, and this is going to be revealing minions until we have the correct number. So 1 and 1. When this minion enters play, discard the top card of the minion deck. Okay. So Duster goes to discard. All right. That's all the setup there. Let's set this health back to 6. All right. Flip the gate if it's unlocked. It is unlocked because our cards do sum to more than 12. These go to the discard pile. This flips. And we have our first level 1 boss here. Anraza, Iron Scale Racketeer. It says if this boss has damage, the active character takes 2 damage at the start of their character phase. Ooh, okay. So if I do damage, I'm then going to be taking damage on my turn, next turn around, basically. So I'm going to have to try to get rid of this one pretty quickly. Okay, so that is cleanup phase. Back to the top. We're going to deal 6 cards. Whoops. All right. And we now go through any of these and whatever we choose. I usually just go left to right. Is there a 5-card flush? No, there is not. Is there a pair on the board? Yes, there's a pair of kings, and it says deal 2 to each character. We go down to 7. Is there a radiant or infernal pair? No, there is not. This is a pair, but it is not specific to either radiant or infernal. So we do have a pair. It says activate the weak ability of the top card of the minion discard pile. Interesting. All right. So shred 1. Double if this minion has 5 or more health. I'm assuming that would reference this then. So it does have 5 or more. So we're going to actually shed 2 cards. And shredding cards is not good. Obviously, it takes them out of your discard pile. Out of your soul deck, and makes it harder for you to play, and then eventually that is a lost condition. So, all right, on to the character phase. All right, so at the start of the character phase, we would take damage if there was damage on this character, and I forgot to put a counter out. You will notice I'm using these counters. I just find it easier than using the tokens that come in the game. They're just standard 1 and 3 counter tokens, not a big deal. It's much easier to click these instead of having to manage a bunch of tokens on cards. All right, so let's see what we can do. A few diamonds out there, a couple kings. Okay, it looks like maybe we'll do our 2-pair. We'll do our 2-pair ability. and I can just deal 2 damage. Okay. Can we get... Yes. No, we can't. Unless we had a change suit, which we don't. I was trying to get to the Radiant and Infernal pair. I could get to 2 Radiant pairs, which doesn't help me. We are, however, a 5 of diamonds away from a very nice straight flush. Is the 5 of diamonds in the deck? Let's see. I am allowed to look through these 2 piles, I believe. And the 5 of diamonds is still in there. So I could potentially go and try and tamper to try to find that 5 of diamonds, because I do have 3, 4, 6, and 7 of diamonds. Let's try it. So we're going to tamper 2. There it is. Look at that. That's awesome. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and switch this out with this King of Hearts. This 10, I'm just going to discard. Okay, I'm going to add this to there, and my last card is either going to go to a gate or the bank. There is no active gate, so I will just bank it for now, and that's nice. I can deal 2 damage or heal 2 damage at some point. So we have chosen last call. All right, we have a straight flush. Whoops, that's not it. A straight flush of 5. These cards will go to the lost pile. And there we go. All right, so first of all, we're going to do 4 damage. We're going to do 4 damage, and we're going to do 4 here. So get that down to 2. All right, then it says gain any suit change token and a plus minus token. I'm going to take... We have a lot of diamonds in our deck still. So we'll take another diamond. All right. Then discard any number of tokens to repeat the damage on this ability that many times. I may choose a new target each time. So I can do 4 damage as many times as I want tokens. So I'm going to do that. Oh, I did forget something when I defeated that character. That's okay. I will come back and talk about it with our next one here. So I will actually discard one of the diamonds, one of the +1 tokens, and I think the other +1, -1 token. So I'm actually going to discard 3 tokens, and that lets me trigger this ability 3 more times. So I'm going to do 4 more, 4 more, 4 more, which defeats both of those characters. These cards all go to my discard. Now I get to get the rewards. This reward, choose a minion in the discard, gain its reward. I think I will gain... Each character gains a spade and heals 1. So I will gain a spade token and heal 1. Now, what I forgot with the first character is at the bottom of each minion, you always get to draw a card and either bank it or gate it. I forgot to do that with the first thing, the stag that I defeated. So I'm going to do that now. And again, no gate, so I will bank. And then here, all characters heal 2. So I'm back to 10. And because it's a boss, I am now at a level up. So my first time leveling up, I get to choose from these level 2 upgrades. And I think I want to go with this one. Yeah, we'll go with this one. So these are basically augments to your actions. So they kind of coincide with Happy Hour and Spirit and Chaser in this case, your 2 lesser abilities. But it just gives you an additional boost to those abilities when you're using them. So that is the character face. These will get cleaned up. We now have a new gate that we need to unlock. It does need 1 minion, so during the cleanup phase now, we will bring a new minion out. When this minion enters play, it deals 1 damage to each character below half. I am not below half, so we're good with that. We'll set this to 5, get this out of the way for now, and I believe we are ready to go. Top of the order here, we need 6 cards. Okay. All right, and back up here to the enemy phase. 4 radiant cards. There are not. None. So in other words, there's no trigger ability here. So it just happens. Deal 1 to the active character. So back down to 9 and shred 1. Okay. That wasn't too bad. I now draw my 3. Start my turn here. All right. We do have a couple queens. We do have a couple 3s. I can make that. Okay. I think we're going to do this ability here. Not going to spend a lot of time thinking about it. Okay. So we're going to put the queen in our row here. We're going to put the club up here because this gate needs either 2 spades or 2 clubs. And then we will use this for its action. We will deal 1 to this character up here. All right. We are then going to have a pair of queens and a pair of 3s, and we're going to use our, spades token to make this heart a spade. That way we now have a radiant pair and an infernal pair. These 3 cards, unfortunately, are lost, but, oh, other way around. We need this to be a diamond. There we go. So now we have a radiant pair and an infernal pair, and that's going to trigger this. So I can deal 3 damage. I could split this up amongst 2 targets if I wanted to. There is only 1 target to deal damage to. So we are going to go ahead and do 3 damage up here. All right. If a +1 or minus token was used to activate this ability, recycle 2. It wasn't. If a suit change token was used to activate this ability, haunt an enemy with that token. It was. So I will haunt this enemy with that token. These go to discard. All right. And then at the end of the character phase, this is going to take another damage because of the haunt, which takes it down to 0. And now our reward is recycling 3 and healing 1. So I go back up to 10. And I'm going to get to recycle 3. The recycling is huge. You definitely need to keep your cards in your deck because you just have to have specifically cards that are going to help you make certain hands. So we are bringing back 3. You don't want it to get too low on you. So that is done. I also get to draw 1, and I can either bank it or gate it. I will bank it because it does not help up there. All right, and that is that. So now we need to bring in a minion. The Surgeon. When 1 or more spades are put into the lost pile, heal all other enemies 1. Okay, I'm going to put a reminder token up here. And I'm going to put that on top of my lost pile. These are not from the game. These are just some wooden tokens I had laying around. But they're going to help me visually remember that whenever I put cards in here, I have to look at this ability. Because if it's a spade, they heal some things. All right. So back to the top here. 6 cards. And I'm out, so I need to reshuffle. Again, if you go to play cards, either into the river or to deal yourself cards, or whenever you need cards from the soul pile, if you don't have any, you reshuffle whatever's in your discard pile. And at that point, if you still don't have enough, then you lose. So we have plenty of cards in our pile right now, but towards the end of the game, it can definitely be an issue. We need 1 more for our river. Okay. All right, here we go. Flush of 4. There is not a 4-card flush. How about a flush of 3? There is a 3-card flush. So there's 3 clubs. So he's going to deal 1 to the active character for each undamaged enemy in play. And right now, whoops, I forgot to put his thing up there. Right now it's just 1. So I'm going to take 1 damage. Back down to 9. Okay, so they're done. Goes to me, dealing 3 cards. And I forgot to move my penance token last turn. There it is. Okay. I can get a 4-card flush right now. Do some recycling. Won't do any damage, but I'll be able to haunt this guy a couple times. I also have 4, 5, 6. What's over here? Well, not a lot going on here. So what I might do Definitely need to get a club up there. So I think this queen has to go there. I could also tamper if I really wanted to. I don't think I need to, though. Or maybe I do, just to see what comes out. Because right now I can get to a 4 or 5 card flush with my tokens. I don't know if I want to use all those. I could also go for just a small straight here. Do a small amount of damage while waiting for this boss to open up here. I also could tamper and try to get a small straight flush. Don't know if that's wise. All right, well, let's do this. Let's add this to our row. I think we're going to use that in some way. We'll tamper with the ace. So he gets a tamper 2. And then I can bank 1 that I discard, but I kind of like these cards that I have sitting here, so I don't think I'll do that. This 3 did open up a larger straight. So I will replace... I'll use this 3 to replace this ace. And I will... Yeah, I'll use this to replace this 2, just to save that tamper in case I needed it. All right, so the ace did allow me to bank one of these cards. Your bank is a limit of 3, so you can always replace, but I don't want to replace, so they're just going to go straight to the discard pile. All right, so here is our straight... Oh my gosh, I need that too. All right, this 3 will just go to the discard then. All right, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is going to be my hand. These 2 cards go in here. They aren't spades, so that ability doesn't matter anyway. But with my 5 card straight, we'll choose Happy Hour. We're going to deal 4 damage up here to the Surgeon. Gain a suit change token of any one suit used here. I think I'm going to grab a diamond just to have some flexibility. And then if this ability targets a haunted enemy, deal 1 and heal any character. It is not haunted, so we're not going to be dealing any additional damage. That's fine. These cards go to discard. And we go to our cleanup phase. Reveal new minions. Don't need to. Flip a gate. If it is open, it is, because we met the 2 clubs. And Cali Desperado. Okay, when this boss enters play, it deals 3 to all characters. Ouch. Down to 6. All right. And that's it. So here we go. All right. So 3 spades and 2 diamonds. No. 1 club, 1 heart. 1 club, 1 heart. Yes. Deal 2 to the active character. Their character cannot heal this turn. Ouch. Ouch. Okay. So I probably shouldn't use my Spirit and Chaser here. Is there a 4-card flush? No. Is there a 3-card flush? Yes. Deal 1 to the active character for each undamaged enemy in play. There is 1 undamaged enemy, so I will take 1. Okay. My turn. So we'll go into the character phase. Look at all these sweet straights coming out. Let's do it. Is there any way to increase this? I don't think so. I'm going to be doing... Whoops, I forgot to add the counter up here. Yeah, I think we're just going to do a ton of damage right now. All right, so my king is going to go to technically my bank, but I'm just going to bounce it. And then my queen, I'm going to use for the action. I'm going to deal 2 damage to an enemy. And I'm just going to do it up here. So this guy will be done at the end of my turn. So I'm going to be using these 4 cards. So these 3 go to The lost pile, I have a 4-card straight flush, which does 3 damage, so down to 5. With that, I gain any suit change token and a +1/-1. I will take, I don't think it matters. I'm going to take another spade because I'm going to get rid of it right now. So I'm going to discard a spade. I'm going to discard a spade to do this ability 2 more times, which deals 6 more damage, which finishes off Cali Desperado. These cards go to discard, and I get rewards. So heal 2, I'll do that. All right, and then I get to draw a card and either bank it or put on a gate. It's just going to go to the discard. Level up, so I'm going to get to choose from my 2 level up cards here. These go underneath my 3 and 4 abilities. And with this, let's go with On the House. Let's go with On the House. Or not On the House, this version of On the House. All right, so again, it's just going to give a little boon to my abilities that are already there. I also get to heal 3. That's nice. And that's it. Oh, recycle 3. I forgot to recycle 3. That's helpful. All right, so we'll shuffle these up. We'll get 3 new cards. Again, it's really helpful to get kind of those passive recycles, not having to use actions to get them, just to keep your deck from depleting too quickly. All right, so these guys are done. All right, we are now at our cleanup phase. Now our 3rd gate is in play, and it requires 2 minions. So we'll have 2 minions coming out. Whoa. When this minion enters play, shuffle all Radiant cards from the discard pile into the soul deck. From the discard pile, Radiant cards. Her ability must use Radiant cards. Oh, yep. Radiant straight, Radiant cards. Okay. So these are going to get shuffled in. We still have to reveal 1 more minion. At the start of each enemy phase, if there are 3 or more hearts in the river, shred 3. Let's see here. Move these down a little bit. At the start of each enemy phase, if there are 3 or more hearts in the river, shred 3. All right, I'm going to place a token on this guy. And then right here at the enemy phase. Maybe as a reminder, I'll probably forget that, but okay. All right. Next. Let's move these down a little bit. All right, here we go. Top of the order. Okay, so looking for Radiant Straight of 3. There is not. 2 or more Radiant cards there definitely are. Deal 1 to active character, +1 if there are 3 or more hearts. There are not. So I'm going to take 1 damage from the tracker. At the start of the enemy phase, if there are 3 or more hearts, there are not. 4 hearts or 4 diamonds. There are 4 diamonds. I'm going to deal 3. Oof. To me. All right. Yikes. That's a powerful angel. Here we go. 3 new cards. All right. Oh, I forgot to move this again. We did last call a second ago. Okay. We've got a flush. Might as well do this. Might as well just take what the board's given me here. So I'll play this in. Don't need to change suits. Don't really need to tamper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to discard this ace and grab this 6. And no, not yet. I'm going to grab this queen and bring it into my hand. And before I forget, I need to set the health of these new characters. I keep forgetting to do that. Okay. I need 3 face cards up here, though. So instead of doing that, I will discard that to get my queen. Okay. I'm going to then put the ace up here, and I will use the queen for its ability, and I'm going to deal 2. I think to this guy. Yeah, we'll deal 2 there. Okay. I also got to remember I can block 2 damage. I probably should have done that. All right, so we've got our cards ready. We're going to use a 5-card flush. So these cards get discarded here. A 5-card flush is going to be Spirited Chaser. I'm going to heal 2. I'm going to recycle 2. And I'm going to gain 2 +1 -1 tokens. All right, and then I can haunt an enemy. And then I can haunt an additional time when activating this ability. So, whoops, I need what? What do I need? 2. Okay. So I think what I'll do is I will haunt maybe this one twice. +1 -1 tokens. I don't know, he did some crazy damage. Let's put 1 on each. No, let's put 2 on this one. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so end of my phase. The haunted tokens are going to do 2 damage. We go to cleanup. Don't need new minions. Gate's not open yet. We go to the top. Okay. All right, so Radiant Straight of 3 cards. There is not 3 or more, or 2 or more Radiant cards. There is. Are there 3 or more hearts? There are. So we are going to take 2 damage from the tracker. 4 hearts or diamonds. There are 4 hearts. If hearts, heal this minion 3. Ooh. All right. I'm assuming that's up to its limit of 5. I'm assuming that's a limit. All right. Well, on to me. Oh, yeah. I forgot about this. At the start of each enemy phase, if there are 3 or more cards, 3 or more hearts, we're going to shred 3. So these top 3 are actually getting shredded. Yikes. All right. Now it's my turn. There's a bunch of hearts out there. Can I turn them into something great, like Last Call? Doesn't appear that way. There's a 6 of hearts. 8 of hearts. I don't have a hearts token, unfortunately. So it doesn't look like I can get a straight out of this, or a straight flush at least. There is a 2, 3, 4 to work on this straight. Could also go the way of pairs. I've got potential for a pair of 2s and a pair of 4s, which does 2, but then I can haunt. Potentially. Oh, interesting. I could also bring this ace in. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's bring this ace in. So I'm going to go ahead and discard. I think this king. No, we'll get rid of this 2. We'll get rid of this 2. This king's going to go up here. This ace is going to go out. This 7 is my action card. But I don't want that action. I don't believe. So instead, I'm going to discard this, bring this 6 in, and recycle 3. Not super efficient, but it's what I want to do with it. Those cards have been sitting in my bank for a while, so 1, 2, 3 recycles. Okay, So we've got aces, we've got fours. We're going to change this 4 to a spade. And then these cards will disappear. So we have 2 pair. We've got Radiant Aces and Infernal Fours. So we'll go to our On the House ability. We can do 3 damage, and we're going to split that up amongst 2 targets. So I am actually going to do 2 here and 1 here, because that 2 will take care of, or these 2 haunts will take care of her in a second. All right, if a suit change token was used to activate this ability, haunt an enemy with that token. So this will actually go to him. This is done, and then if this ability defeats a haunted enemy, it didn't. So, bummer. This is going to take 2 at the end of my turn. And this is going to take 1. Okay. Reward, recycle 1 spade of your choice or give each character a clubs token. Any spades in here that I'm really itching to have? Queen's not terrible. But I kind of like the token because those are very flexible for me right now. So I think I'm going to take a clubs token. And then I get to draw a card and either bank it or gate it. It's not a face card, so I will bank it. All right, back to the cleanup phase. We do need to draw another minion. This minion takes 1 less damage from abilities that use sets. Sets would be this card. So I just use that. Let's get her health set. All right, that was the cleanup phase. 6 new cards. Okay. All right. Straight flush of 3. No. 1 club, 1 heart. Yes. Okay. Deal 2 to active character. Getting low. Shred 2. Okay. 1. This minion cannot activate this ability next turn. All right. So let's block it off with those to remind me. I guess that's nice. That's pretty powerful for a weak ability. All right, this guy over here, here's my second shred. This guy over here is looking for, at the start of this phase, are there 3 hearts? There are. So we shred 3. Okay. 4 hearts or 4 diamonds? No. 1 diamond, 1 heart? No. So he just shreds the cards. I got to get him off the board. I think he's taken 9 cards from me. Ugh. All right, my turn. 1, 2, and 3. No face cards. I might do this loot. I don't loot a lot. Loot is effectively tamper, but instead of putting the cards onto the board, they replace your hand. I would really like to get to this ability, or boss, I mean. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to loot 4. So I'm going to play this as my action. Okay, I will take the queen into my hand and discard this 7. I've already played my ability, so the second card would just be what I want to play. So maybe I won't, well, yeah, I have another 7 here. I have trips, but I just used that, so I don't want to use that again. How about a 10? 7, 6, 7, 9, 10, and I can turn this 7 into an 8. So I think I'll take this and discard this. All right, so that was looting. This queen is going to go up here. I will play this out to the board, and I will play a +1 here so that I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Jack and the 3 will be disappearing, but we do have a 5-card straight. So we're going to come over here to Happy Hour, dealing 4 damage. So I could take him out now, or I could get her down to 1. This ability targets a haunted enemy, deal +1 and heal any character 1. I might do that just for the healing. So yeah, we'll just deal all 4 here. That'll defeat him before he can shred 3 more cards. All right. Then, gain a suit change token of one of the suits that was used. I will take maybe another club. Okay. This goes away. These go away. This goes away. And I get his reward. 1 hearts token. Wow. Oh, great. Okay. I got 1 of each. Oh, no, I don't. I don't have spade. All right. And then I get to draw a card and gate or bank it. I will bank it because that's all I got. All right. To clean up. New minions. Yes, we do need a new minion. When this minion enters play, each player discards a token. Yuck. Let's get rid of that heart that I just got. Okay. Comes in with 6 health. This gate does unlock now. There are 3 face cards on it. And we are looking at Abraham, Death's Dealer. At the start of each enemy phase, shred 3. Yo! Okay. That's going to happen fast. All right, so 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And let's go through abilities. Straight of 4. Well, I guess this. Start of enemy phase, shred 3. So 1, 2, 3. We got to get to this guy fast because he's going to burn through our cards. Straight of 4, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Deal 1 to an active character. Oh, I forgot to heal myself 1 from Happy Hour. So before I do that, deal 1 to the active character for each suit used to activate this ability. Ooh. There are 3 suits. So I'm down to 0. Okay. Yuck. Right. Straight flush for each token each character controls they choose. Discard that token or take 2 damage. Okay, so the way I understand it is I don't flip my character card until the end of the phase. So I think... Oh, there's no straight flush, so I don't need to do that. But I think if I take any more damage, it doesn't really matter at this point because it's going to exceed my total. But this is now available for next turn. So this card's not going to do anything to me. 5 infernal cards. No, there's 4. Is there a 3-card straight? Yes. Deal 1 to the active character for each infernal card to activate this ability, which would have been 3 of them. Well, I guess I could use this just 2. So I'm taking 2 more damage. It doesn't matter. Here's what I could do. I could discard those and prevent damage. I don't want to do that, though. So what ends up happening here, I end up shredding 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That hurts, and I flip. And he becomes infernal. Once during each of your character phases, you may discard 2 cards from the bank that share a suit to gain a token of that suit. So just another way for Fehrity to gain tokens. That's kind of cool. All right. Bad guys are done. Characters. I need a straight flush, is what I need. All right, there's my 3rd card. I do have Ace, King, Queen, Jack, and I have 2 tokens that can turn them. Oh, the ace isn't in play, though. Darn. Can I tamper? Yes, I can. I can tamper 2. Let's do it. Let's try to get to the last call. I gotta burn through this guy fast. Set him to 10. Okay. Let's do it. Those are loots. Those aren't helpful. I'm going to tamper 2, looking for none of that. I was really looking for some more clubs. I can bank 1 card that I discard this way. So maybe we come back down here to straight. 3, 4, 5, 6. I could play a 7. I think that's my best chance here. Okay. So play that. I don't need that. Oh, this was a tamper. What do I want to save? Get rid of these 7s and save some things. Definitely want to save this king. We'll save this 5. No, I need the 5. Shoot. Well, we'll swap the jack, I guess. Okay. We are then going to play the 6 out here, and the queen is going to get banked. So we now have 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and we'll keep those 3 spades. We could also keep the 3 hearts. How do we want to do it? Low spades, low hearts. Kind of all in there. So it doesn't really matter which ones I choose. All right, so this 6 and this 7 are getting discarded. We have a 5-card straight, which means we have to do penance. So we're going to shred 2. We're going to take damage. I never reset that. Now he's down to 11. Okay. This is my character phase. I could I'm going to do this. I'm going to discard these 2 cards to gain another club token. That way I can set up for a flush potentially if I can get some cards out. So we're doing 5 cards straight, and we're going to do all 4 here. I think we just got to rush this boss. Okay. Gain a suit change token of one of the suits used to activate this ability. Again, I'm going to take a club. That way I can just throw clubs out at this thing. Potentially. Didn't target a haunted ability or a haunted enemy, so those go away. Whoa, we are in danger here of losing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because we are just barely going to have enough cards here. Okay, so back to our enemy phase. At the start of each enemy phase, shred 3. So there's 3 or 2. I got to shuffle. This is going to be close. There's 3. Okay. Is there a straight of 4 cards? 5, 6, 7. No. Is there a pair? Yes, there's a pair of 9s. Deal 2 to the active character. Okay, down to 9. At the end of the enemy phase, shred the cards used to activate this ability. Do not replace them. That hurts. Is there a straight flush of 3? No. Is there a club and a heart? Yes. Take 1 to the active character. Oof. Shred 2. Ouch. We are running out of time. And that is blocked again. 5 infernal cards. No. A 3 card straight. Yes. 5, 6, 7. Deal 1 for each infernal card. 1. Wow, these 3 are hitting me hard. Okay, these, the end of the enemy phase, shred the cards used to activate this ability. That stinks. And they don't get replaced. So I'm drawing 3. I just have to activate this. And I'm good. I think we're good. Okay. Put the 4 in the line. We'll tamper, or we'll put this tamper card in my thing, and then we'll deal 2 damage. And we'll deal 2 right here. It's not going to matter because I'm going to choose last call. I'm going to use clubs, clubs, clubs. We've got 4, 5, 6, 7 of clubs. That's a straight flush. I'm doing 3. I'm gaining a suit change token that I'm just going to use to do another 3. And this boss has been defeated. So we defeated our level 3 boss. That's our win condition, which is great because we probably weren't going to have enough cards for another turn. So that was between this and this hitting me twice. And woo, yeah, shredding cards from the bank. Ooh,
this was a rough combo that just came out here at the end. Wow. All right. Well, that's Drawing Dead. Again, there's 4 characters. I think I've played Fehrity twice. I think I've played all the other ones at least once, if not one of them twice, maybe. They all just provide you a few different combinations of abilities, and they all have like a theme. So Fehrity, obviously, he's the one that deals with the tokens. You manipulate the tokens. One of them, I don't remember which one it was, manipulates the bank a lot. One is more straightforward. It just does pretty straightforward damage. So there's a lot of variety just in the characters. There's a lot of variety in the way that the minions come out every time. This game could have been very different had this combination not come out when it came out. Because this guy took a token from me, and then they just started shredding cards. Like both of these abilities were just shredding cards, and that was rough. I mean, my deck got really thick there at the end. Yeah, so that was close. That was fun though. This game has been on my table for the last couple weeks. I've just been kind of playing it over and over again. It is very addictive. It's got that really addictive chaining of actions and comboing, your abilities. You have 3 decisions each turn, so you're always actively trying to figure out how to best use each of those cards, and then introducing the bank in there where you can actually switch cards out and bring those back in. That's really neat. So there's a lot of cool stuff going on here. The only issue I've run into is there are some rules ambiguities just between specific situations where you're not exactly sure how your character interacts with one of the minions and vice versa. There are a couple typos, I think, in the rules that they're probably going to need to put out either a new rule book or frequently asked questions. Like I said, Ferity's ability, his haunt ability, it's written differently on the card than it is in the rule book. So haunt doesn't really have a specific way that it's used right now. I think I'm doing it right. But if not, please shout out on the comments if you actually know the answer to that, to the haunt question of, does the haunt do damage at the end of the character phase or at the end of the cleanup phase? Because it is written both ways in the text of the book and the cards. So yeah, thank you for joining me. Hopefully this was helpful for you, those of you that are trying to jump into Drawing Dead, and hopefully you're having fun with the game like I am. We'll see you next time.